Michan! Late! Ha! Ha! You waited. You should have just gone on ahead. I want to see what... It's probably got a kanji character, so it'd make no difference to me, really, would it? Michan! Blah, 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 blah. Fuck yeah, I could probably see in my dictionary. Late. Late is... none of those really, but there's like a few ones here. It's like late, far into the day or night, osoi, which kind of fits that, I guess. Osoi, because it's got the E at the end, and it's got the kanji character, so maybe that's what it is. They could have a different reading, I don't know. Hey, Mion, your face is red. You're breathing heavily, too. And this is like, just so surreal when you think about it. Keiichi has finally got the catapult. I mean, that's been established already. But look at him, man. He's on the screen with Renna. My god, I can't believe it. It's so surreal. After all this time, he finally got his character, and now he appears on screen with other characters. Look how small Renna's body looks compared to him. He's also taller by the looks of it. Maybe. I don't know. You know how novels like these are, they'll have like character data on it, and I have no idea where they obtain, probably Japanese sites only. Maybe like they interview the writers and the writers just like, oh yeah, and this character is this tall, this character is that tall, this is the height, the waist, and of course bust size. They always seem to do that for some reason. And they don't do that size, so do they? Just like, sir, what's Keiichi's size? Does that matter? Well, you're pointing out the breast, so why not? Makes no sense. Michan, are you not feeling well? Renna put her hand on my forehead. Renna, your hand is pretty cold. Michan, you're a little bit warm. It's no big deal. Give it half a day and I'll be fit as a fiddle. Okay, she's concerned face. First time we've seen it, I think. You're really okay. You don't have to push yourself, you know. What's this? Keiichi, are you worried about me? That's nice of you. I'd always thought he was a goofball, so I was a little surprised. I thought they would tease me, but they didn't. I just think you shouldn't push yourself so hard. We can tell the teacher you have to take the day off. I'm fine. I took some medicine. I think it's already working. Okay then, let's go. Don't overdo it, but of course there's the time. We need to run or we won't make it. This morning got pretty thrilling. Maybe it's just what I need to shake off this sluggishness. Let's run. Freaking got flashbacks to canon again there. It happened at least once, didn't it, where Yuichi and Naiki had to run to school, and at one time they got completely lost. I think it's where they met Shiori, but I can't fully remember. And they arrived late because, well, they got lost. President, if you would. Everybody stand up. At attention! I'd make the same mistake before. I never learn, do I? Do you think Mei-chan's doing okay? She doesn't look good. Oh, really? How unfortunate. It was a good idea to make them believe I was sick. Even if I did things differently from Mion, I had an excuse. Well, you know, girls have those days when they just don't feel well.
I don't have those days.
Mion's friends kept each other occupied and left me alone. Is he hinting at what I think he's hinting at when he say, oh yeah, they have those days? You know, that time of the month? And, you know, Rika's comment on it kind of connects it as well, doesn't it? Keiichi Maibara. He might suddenly disappear one day. I couldn't let that happen. That would be like letting a fish take the bait and swim away while I was fast asleep with a fishing pole in my hands. I couldn't miss the moment the enemy took a bite out of Keiichi. I had to be very careful. Can you imagine? Like, at the end of all this, just like, oh, what could it be? Could it be people? Could the curse actually exist? What kind of thing connects all this together? And it's like, well, what if someone dies and the other that's demoned away is actually eaten by a monstrous being? That would be a twist. But it was impossible to keep my eyes on him 24 hours a day. Spying on him at school like this wasn't good enough. Should I have him meet with Shion and let her explain that he's in danger? Maybe we could set up a strategy together. I didn't think Keiichi realized how serious a crime it was to step in the ritual storehouse. I hadn't, after all. Since last year, all the incidents that related to the curse had probably been investigated in secret. People involved with the three families would know about the incident from last night, but Keiichi shouldn't know anything. If he knew where he stood now, he'd be more cautious too. That should make him aware of his surroundings, and maybe he would notice if anything odd took place. Teacher caught him sleeping, so she ordered him to go wash his face. He walked down to the hallway. Oh, is this gonna be the scene? No, I can't remember. I was sleepy too. I had to be alert, but I couldn't clear my mind due to my lack of sleep. I decided to go home early. Since I'd been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. It's gonna lead to that one scene where, like, she confronts Keiichi and asks him questions. And back in with Tanagashi, it was essentially Mion giving the creepy eyes, but now we know it's actually Shion. So Shion giving the creepy eyes. As I exited the building, I saw Keiichi washing his face. Did I read the previous line? Since I've been pretending to be sick since morning, my request was approved. I thought you'd be out here. Feels better outside, huh? Mion. No cutting class now. It looked like it felt refreshing for him to wash his face with cold water. I washed my face too, but it didn't feel as good as it looked. Mion, how's your cold doing? You're asleep because of medicine, not from lack of sleep, yeah? Actually, this is a secret, but at the festival yesterday, I got wrapped up in the party my relatives were having. And, well, I had a bit. Gulp. I pretended to drink with an invisible glass. Are you hungover? How old are you? Keiichi exaggerated his reaction, but he still seemed worried. You know, in answer to that question, I think, like, Mion and Shion are, like, 17, I think. I'm not sure, to be honest. I think I remember reading that on the Wikipedia page. Okay, later I'm going back. Be careful on your way home. Don't wobble into a sewer or a brook, got it? Keiichi turned around to go back to the classroom. And once again, just check. His reaction, but he still seemed worried. Oh, one more thing, Keiichi-chan. I stopped Keiichi. He, in response, turned around. What's up? This may sound weird, but don't think too hard about it. Well, depends on what it is. Last night near the end of the festival, did you see Tomitaka-san or Takano-san anywhere? See, when this music kicked in with Tanagashi, she was giving him the creepy eyes. And this is how Keiichi's face must have looked back then before he had a portrait then. He's just like, ugh, no. I noticed Keiichi's body tense up. His reaction proved that he felt guilty about sneaking into the ritual storehouse. He was frightened that Mion Sonozaki might know about it. I guess this was enough to give him a certain impression of Mion Sonozaki. You know Tomotaka-san and Tagma-san, don't you? Remember, Kei-chan, when the four of you were talking during setup during the day before? I could clearly see how dismayed Keiichi felt. He was trying to come up with an excuse. I can't remember. I might have seen them or not. He was both a bad liar and a bad actor. Your acting sucks! Can you imagine me as an actual voice actor? Like, yesterday, or rather last night, I suppose, I was like watching YouTube videos like the Simpsons voice actors and SpongeBob voice actors, and just seeing them doing the voice acting, in live, essentially, where you can actually see the voice actor doing those voices, and it's just like, how the fuck do they do that? And cartoon voices sound silly, but it just has such a unique tone to it, and they've got to have all this varying emotion to go with it as well. You gotta really make it so the character comes to life on the screen and shit. Closest I've got to a cartoony voice, I suppose, is the Echo the Dolphin voice. Because, well, I can kind of do a bit of variety with it, and it's a bit goofy sounding, and it'd probably look weird if you saw me while I was doing this voice. You'd be like, how's he do that voice? I don't know, it sounds a bit like an old man now. Anyways, he wasn't really that intelligent at all. Well, that would make him a suitable friend for Mion. What? It's just like, of course Mion would only hang around with idiots. He was just a brat, unlike Satoshi-kun. Just like, everything comes back to Satoshi-kun. Just like, oh, Satoshi-kun's the best, Satoshi-kun number one. Although when it came to lying and acting, Satoshi-kun was about the same level. See? Maybe Keiichi should be credited for at least trying to tell a lie. Satoshi-kun wouldn't have even said a thing. I didn't really need to be thinking about him right now. But that's all she ever thinks about. I see. Then one more question. On the same night, did you see Shion? That was a very mean question. Keiichi was perplexed, as I'd expected. Didn't you ask me that yesterday? I think I told you that I wasn't sure if I had or not. Eh? I'd asked him that yesterday. You must have meant that Mion Sonozaki asked him that question. In other words, she asked him that after he left the storehouse and got back together with his friends. Damn you, Mion. When I asked her, she said she'd had no idea we went to the ritual storehouse. Shit. Did you? I guess I just thought I'd get a different answer if I asked you again. Why are you so intent on knowing if I did it or not? Did or not? He was getting defensive. Keiichi couldn't hide his panic as he flared up at me. It's not important, it's just that there are some people who are speaking poorly of Tomotaka-san, Takna-san, Shion, and you, Kei-chan. I didn't really hear what they were saying, though. Keiichi was really perplexed now. This wasn't fun at all, but it could still be an interesting game. This is just a game, too! I don't believe that you were doing something bad. I just wanted to ask a bit about it, so I did. Sorry for making you uncomfortable, okay? I made sure Keiichi felt a sense of crisis, then left. Nobody can tell us apart with Mion and Shion, perfect twins, number page 186. I gave plenty of time to read that, didn't it? When I returned to the Sonozaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on. It was a housekeeper. Her name was Shimoko-san. Shimiko, I mean. The hag had a few housekeepers who take care of the chores around the house. Ah, Mion-chan, I'm glad you're here. Hey, Shimiko-san, can I help you? Today was her turn to come help out at the house. She'd arrived, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. She'd called, but there was no answer, or she had been just standing there not knowing what to do. Something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She'd been in an evil mood ever since last night. Ah, I see. Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong. She isn't ignoring you, she's just sleeping. She was up until very late, so I bet she can't wake up yet. You know how she is, right? Once she gets into this mood, it'll take a while for her to be happy again. Yes, that's too bad. I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while. Even if you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take it the wrong way. Just let me take care of it. I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though. Sorry I'm making do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you a call. So let's just leave her alone for now. She made horse unbound and left on her bicycle. That's how everyone gets around in this place. Anyone who had ever experienced Granny's wrath would understand. I did into Mion's room, set her alarm clock for 2 p.m. and crawled into her bed. I need to recover quickly. I have to be sharp, calm, and cool-headed. School should be out by 2 p.m. Maybe I'd get in touch with Keiichi. I'd have to call him. Wait, school out at 2 p.m.? Well, it was the 80s. It's Japan. I don't know what time it is. I remember back when I had school many a year. It was like 8 or 9 in the morning to like around about 3. I think that's changed as well nowadays. I don't know. Well, actually, college, isn't it? Pretty much has the same schedule now I think about it. It's like class starts at 9 or 10 or something like that and finishes around about 3. Well, it's not like a full class. It's like a class in the morning, a class in the afternoon. You know, the funny thing is, I was the only one to show up. Like, it's like, no college this week, but it was last week and the week before, and I was the only one in the math class. Just like, and I had like missed college because of my sleeping pattern like 3 weeks in a row, and I was able to catch up in just one lesson because teacher could just focus on teaching me because nobody else bothered to show up. Just like the class is just like chaos like that. Just like sometimes a bunch of people show up, sometimes not so much. But just like after all that time, it's like 3 weeks of not showing up, I finally show up, and I wasn't technically the only person there, but I was pretty much the only one who ended up doing any work. And then the second week, I technically wasn't the only one there, but it felt that way regardless. It's just like, where's everyone else? It's like, I don't know. Doesn't matter. There would also be a staff meeting at the Friday Shrine Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the three families, the relatives, and the town council members would gather at this meeting. They were all authority figures in Mizawa. I'd be attending in place of the hag who was sick. I'd worry about the rest when I got there. People shouldn't notice that Mion and the hag were missing for a long time. I didn't need to worry as I had plenty of time. I checked the alarm once more, then fell asleep as if someone switched me off. Hello? Wait, what? This is Sonozaki, well, younger one. Hello, do you have time to talk right now? Who's this? Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in town with a hangover, same as Mion. What? My sis had a hangover? That's so like her. Keiichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. Okay, now I know who she's talking to. Didn't notice when we talked in person, so there's no way he would notice on the phone. I never knew that playing two roles would be so much fun. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life or death, maybe I was getting used to this situation. Or maybe my senses had gone numb. Oops, sorry, my parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need? There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that. And how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that would be great. You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. We decided to meet in Okinawa. It wasn't easy to get there from Inamizawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run into Keiichi as he was heading there himself. Recall that the key to the hag's motorcycle was in her secret drawer. The hag usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own errand, she rode her motorcycle. It's like... I'm picturing this one gag from Monty Python where they have like an old lady kind of biker gang that harasses people, just like she'd be the leader of that. Keiichi, I assumed, was going to ride his bicycle. I tried to get talking about before he did. I'm just picturing it as a Harley, of all things. Just like, yeah, obviously she'd be able to afford that. Keiichi arrived quite a bit later than me. Motorcycles are faster, after all. There were hardly any traffic lights to worry about on the way here either. You don't even have a license, but I suppose that probably wasn't any traffic to really. I don't know. Wow, Mion never keeps her appointments. I mean, honestly. Make my sister that's standing for everything will get you in trouble. You're a little unsteady. You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early. Oh, too bad. I'd been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sister, after all. Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter. Let's just finish your errand first. You should, I mean. We don't have that much time. We're going to the library, right? Yeah, thanks. My mum had to return some books by today. Is the library far? No, it's right nearby. I meant it when I said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up coming all the way to Okinawa. After our talk, Keiichi would slowly head back to Inamizawa on his bicycle. I'd have to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him. Otherwise, I couldn't make it on time for the meeting. Maybe I should be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. This was the Shishibone Public Library. It was sizable, filled with a collection of moldy, smelly books. But they did have air conditioning, and it was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone. After Stutchkin disappeared last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. I didn't want to run into her with Keiichi in tow, but then I remembered that she was already dead. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices. The library itself was on the second floor, so we had to walk up a huge staircase to get there. I taste the cool air on my skin as soon as I walk through the automated door. Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. The room temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages. All libraries smell the same. Keiichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It really was very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, and then move on to the main subject. After Keiichi returned the books, I invited him into the inner section of the library. Keiichi knew Mion well, but he didn't know me at all. He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Inamizawa a year ago. I was about to tell Keiichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony? Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean they operate Angel Mode too? I told him the reason why the Sonozaki family was so powerful in this area. I assumed that since Keiichi came from the city, there was a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful the Sonozaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger was barreling towards him. The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate. Even a lot of members of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry have the last name Sonozaki are their relatives. The Sonozaki's in the City Council and the Prefectural Assembly too, since they have the Optima area giving them strong electoral support. Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Optima and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices. Keiichi kind of blew his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all about the Sonozaki family. It seemed he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, though slowly. The way he viewed Shion Sonozaki was changing little by little too. That should be enough background information. Now I could go on to explain about Mion Sonozaki, the successor. Then I'd change the subject like Takno-san did with him. I'd go on to talk about the curse of oyashiro-sama and then the series of mysterious deaths. So then the Sonozaki family, it's pretty famous in this area. Yep. Crazy, isn't it? Gonna rain on your parade, Shion! A fat man with a cigarette has suddenly got into our conversation. Keiichi? Why was he here? Hello. Good afternoon, konnichiwa. You on a date today? What I would give to be young again. You thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us? Keiichi-san. What timing. It couldn't be coincidence. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just can't be a coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and follow us? But why? Did he need something from me, Keiichi, or perhaps the both of us? From what I could guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It was almost like he was trying to keep Keiichi away from me. Keiichi was aware I gave false tests of money to protect Satoshi-kun last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Keiichi if I was around. Why did Keiichi need to talk to Keiichi? It must be about the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes officers at the festival, so they had to have seen who was last with the victims. In other words, Keiichi and me. But Keiichi knew I was hard to deal with. That was why he was focusing on Keiichi at present. Why did he have to show up at a time like this? I'm Aya-san, right? You're one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you? No, I'm not two-timing anyone. Keiichi looked at me, hoping for assistance. He blushed away, panic reminding me of Satoshi-kun. That aside, this wasn't going well. Keiichi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun. I didn't want to, nor did I want Keiichi to have any preconceptions. Keiichi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was purposely talking about the things I'd rather not talk about. He was basically telling me to leave or he'd continue on to something that was worse than what they were currently talking about. He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Damn that big fat weasel. I'm sorry, Keiichi-chan. I really do need to get to my job. Huh? Oh, you do? I realized that I wouldn't achieve anything like this even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Keiichi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. You won today, but I'll win next time. You may have won the battle, but you will not win the war! Wait, then you have something to talk to me about today, Shion. Yep, I'll see you later. Oh, I'll give you a call after I'm done. Be okay to call it night, right? Yeah, probably okay. I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye. Higurashi with Meakashi. Hag's motorcycle had become my primary means of transportation until she was pulled over and the jig was up. No, that didn't happen. But imagine that. Her whole whatever she's planning on doing here, planning to uncover the truth, like she's freaking just like a the black sheep discarded member of the cast of Persona 4 or some shit. Just like, no, you're too crazy. We don't want a yandere kind of thing on the team. Fuck off. It's like, we'll uncover the truth. You go uncover whatever truth you're going in your own thing. That didn't make any sense. Just trying to link the two based on that. It's like, we will uncover the truth. Shion will try to uncover the truth of the mysteries of the mysterious deaths and whatever happened to Satoshi. But imagine if this all came crashing down when she got pulled over for driving without a license and ended up somehow all of what she's done gets unveiled. Just like, so you've got your sister kidnapped, held in a cell, and your grandmother died, and you threw her down a well. Well, you're going to jail. It's like, fuck. Well, she'd probably just freaking lash out in that situation. But that isn't obviously going to happen. My next stop was the staff meeting at the Furry Assembly Hall. It was easy to imagine how an open meeting would play out if it was just celebrating the end of Tanagashi. You know, with how fast I speak, or rather read, I wonder how many people, like the few people, I suppose, that watch these videos, ever have trouble keeping up with what I'm saying half the time. But today's staff meeting was likely going to be as strained as the Sonozaki family councils. Yes, this staff meeting was going to deal with the heart of Hinamizawa. I couldn't let my guard down even for a moment. I rested for a while at the house, then left for the meeting. I walked up the long stairs to the Fruity Shrine. At the top I saw some elderly men smoking in front of the hall. Since they had a minor fire a long time ago, it had been made into a non-smoking area. Is that Mion-san? The head of the Kimiyoshi family, Uncle Kimiyoshi, noticed me and waved. He must not have expected Mion to come alone. Normally it would have been either the hag by herself or Mion tagging along as an assistant. Granny's been in a terrible mood since the incident last night. She's been staying in bed and won't even let me get near her. They all understood how troublesome she was when in a bad mood. They smiled bitterly in sympathy. So you're here as Sonozaki family representative then? Has Oya-san told you anything? Sort of. What did he mean, has Oya-san told you anything? That line by itself didn't really explain much. The staff meeting was usually led by the mayor, the head of the Kimiyoshi family. And he'd asked me, as the substitute for the Sonozaki family head, if I'd heard anything from her. I then realized who was supposed to lead today's staff meeting. No, Kimiyoshi-san. Do I really have to lead the meeting today? Going to the ranking order at the family councils, any substitute for the Sonozaki family head is above the Kimiyoshi family head. In other words, I'd have to lead today's meeting. There was no way I could do that. Don't worry, I'll do it. You can just take a seat, Mion-chan. If there's something you've heard from Oya-san, just let us know, okay? Who's that line? What line is that? Okay, one of them. Mion-san, why don't we get started? Everyone's here now. Smokers put out the cigarettes and went back into the hall. The tables were set into a horseshoe shape, and I was told to sit next to the chair reserved for the chief. The seat opposite mine was empty. Considering its location, it was probably for the Fruity family head, Rika Fruity. But somebody had said earlier that everybody was already here. Either Rika-chama had called in absent, or the empty seat was just a formality. On the subject of this meeting, I don't think that the Fruity family head would even want to attend. Even if Rika-chan actually attended, she wouldn't be able to say anything. All she usually do at the Sonozaki family councils was draw pictures on a notepad. She would probably end up drawing pictures in this meeting too. Besides, they probably didn't want her to hear anything unpleasant. In this way, the empty Furuta family seat was easily explained. When everyone was seated, the head of the Women's Association served tea. She gave me an evil look, trying to tell me to help out. I got up and did so. After that, everyone felt quiet and the secretary stood up. Everyone, thank you for coming today at such short notice, despite your busy schedules. Let's start with a few words from the mayor. Go ahead, please. Please excuse me for staying seated. Ken-chan, you stay seated too. Thank you all for coming today. Also, you did a great job at Higurashi yesterday. The festival was a great success as usual. There weren't any mishaps. Lots of villagers came and I believe it went great on the whole. Let me see, how many people was it? According to the Imperial General Headquarters report, approximately 5,000 people showed up. What, they turn into Mr. Squash? I will steal the leaks. Just like anyone who's not overly familiar with the random characters I've made over the years, I have no idea what the hell I'm referencing there. Everyone laughed except me. I hope we'll continue to work together to carry on this tradition. I appreciate your cooperation. Golf clap. An applause with only 8 people doesn't sound so great. Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Wait, no, it's someone else. I was reading in the voice of Gim Kimyoshi, but it's someone else talking the whole time. Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Kimyoshi-san will lead the meeting today. Please applaud if you approve. Put the microphone in place. Clapping is a weird thing when you really think about it, isn't it? It's like you're making your hands into percussive instruments in a way, isn't it? It's like, and it's just like freaking. If you clap too hard, it's like ow. Thank you. Then, with your approval, Mayor Kimyoshi will take over. Please go ahead. Thank you, Ken-chan. Let's start now. Sorry, could you close the curtains? Everyone closed the curtains nearest to them. The sun was still up, but with all the curtains closed, the room became very dark. The village chief explained the details of the incident as well as what went on with the police. A police vehicle discovered Toмотaka-san's body on its way back to Okinawa last night. Wish's special curse unit was standing by, expecting something to happen for the 5th time, so they responded quickly. Since Toмотaka-san and Takano-san were rarely apart, Oishi got in touch with the neighboring prefectural police departments and asked them to look for her. As a result, they found a burned body of a woman in the mountains of the Gifu prefecture. And the body was then identified as Takano. Considering the circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as the 5th of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. You know what? I'm gonna look up the Gifu prefecture. Is it like a fictional one or a real one? Maybe we can pinpoint where this whole takes place. Now it actually exists. The Gifu prefecture in the Chiba region of central Japan is capitalized the city of Gifu, located in the center of Japan. It has long played an important part as a crossroads of Japan, connecting the east to the west through such routes as the Nagasenda during the Sengoku period. Many people blah blah. Hmm. So this is the Gifu. Yeah. Got that. Zoom out. It's near Kyoto and Nagoya. Yeah. Okay, it's a ways away from Tokyo. Hey, that's where Fukushima is then, eh? Wasn't, it's down here somewhere, isn't it? Yeah, there's Hiroshima over there. What was the other one that was bombed? Was it Nagasaki, something like that? What a random... Yes, I don't really know the geography of Japan, to be honest. Oh, it's right there, isn't it? But somewhere around this region, it's gotta be within this region or a little outside of it, is where the plot possibly takes place. Maybe. I don't know, but that's quite a big area. So, at least we got some vague information there. Anyways, back to the plots. Under circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as a fifth of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. When he finished, there was dead silence. Ha ha ha, get it? Because they're talking about death? I watched to see who would speak first. Nobody said a thing. Then I noticed Keiichi stand looking at me. Ah, this was where the head of the Sonozaki family would speak. What will she say? I don't know, but we'll find out in our next part. So I'll see you next time, viewers. See you next time.